right, so 6-3 Panthers. That's the second preseason game with the Lightning. We've got one more come Saturday. What did we see? I'm going to get the bad news, the possible bad news out of the way. About midway through the third period, I realized I haven't seen Sam Bennett in a while. And so I went to Twitter checking up, and sure enough, Jameson Olive said that he had a couple of shifts in the second period, and he wasn't even on the bench during the third, so he's going to get an update during the game or after the game. Hopefully he's fine, and it was just precautionary. Hopefully he's not sick like Barkov, who was out again tonight. It was a mixture of guys out there. So in terms of on the ice, a couple of things. This is not me complaining about Aaron Ekblad. However, we were all concerned about Ekblad and Montour being out. At this point, I'm only concerned about missing Montour because Larson, at worst, Larson is as good as Ekblad has been at his best in the last couple of years. I'm not saying Larson is what Ekblad was before he got injured, but he's certainly better than what Ekblad has been when he's been injured. We're fine there. That's the point. He's running the power play really, really nice. He's holding the puck in the zone. And at one point, somebody else made a mistake, and Larson had to catch up to the Tampa Bay player that had the puck, and he caught him. Now, when was the last time you saw Ekblad catch somebody from behind? So we're good there. We're good there. In terms of the forward group, I say this. Evan Rodriguez is just all over the place. I mean, I don't know how many minutes he has, but it just seems like every other shift I'm hearing his name, and he's just very, very active. So once Barkov gets healthy for the 18th time, and that line gets together with Verhaeghe and Rodriguez, I expect big things from them. Who got goals? Let's see. Lomberg. I'm never going to remember all six. Stenlund got two. Second one was an empty netter. Lomberg, Sourdiff, Luosterainen, and Cousins. I remembered. Okay. Samoskevich, because I know I've been talking about him a lot. He didn't show up on the score sheet, but I did a lot of watching of Samoskevich away from the puck, and the kid's he's got good high hockey IQ. I can't talk. It's a little bit late. I see no reason why that kid shouldn't start the season somewhere in the top 9. He's making a lot of passes in the zone. He's really kind of looks a little bit Anton Lundell-ish. He's just a good, solid hockey player. Every time I watch him, I see something good. Even when he does something bad, then I saw something good. Like in the first Tampa Bay game, there were at least 2, possibly 3 cross-ice passes that he probably should have just dumped the puck in, and that got intercepted. Tonight, there was at least 2 times where he came in, saw that he didn't really have anything, pulled up, took the man with him, and then dumped the puck in. So I like what I see from him, and considering how well the fourth line with Lomberg, Cousins, and Stenlund played, I don't want to move Cousins off the fourth line because that line looked like a beast. So unless something surprising happens, I think Samoskevich has made this team. Whether or not he's going to start next to Bennett or Lundell, we'll see, because tonight he was with Lundell and Reinhart, and he's helping create some chances there. What else did we see? Defensively, I think I'm going to mispronounce his name, but there's this guy that we got just out of nowhere from Latvia. I'm trying to talk. Cut me some slack. I can say the word Latvia, wherever the hell he's from. Belinsky's is the name of the kid, and he's 27. To me, he's a kid. I haven't seen him play for us, and all of a sudden he's playing tonight. He looked pretty good. Now, I'm not saying he's going to make the top 6, but I'll be honest with you, and I've said this before, I don't know what the team sees in Fitzgerald. I really don't. I'm not saying he's bad, but every time I see him in a game, there's at least 1 or 2 times where you're like, oh, geez. he gets beat a lot. So I'm not a Fitzgerald fan. I know he's the son of a Panther alumni, but that's all, okay? I'm not sure what they see in him. I wouldn't be surprised if after tonight, if all of a sudden this kid Belinsky's just boop, shows up as 7D. The fun stuff, kind of fun. I can only tell you so much about the game because it's the Tampa Bay feed. And apparently the way that they run their live stream is they just stream from the Jumbotron. So there are no replays of the Panther goals during the stream. during the stream. And what's funny is listening to 152-year-old Phil Esposito complain about everything. If you ever are told by somebody that that you complain too much, play that person a tape of Phil Esposito calling a hockey game, especially in the preseason. I mean, the amount of moaning and groaning over poor plays by guys that'll probably never see the ice for the Lightning, it's kind of funny. But what I found amusing was his line about the fact that we're not going to... He wanted to see the Panthers replay because a couple of the goals looked a little sketchy, you know, and he couldn't really tell what was going on. And so Esposito says, I know we're supposed to be homers, but come on, we've got to be careful here. I got a real kick out of listening to him tonight. If you had to listen to him every night, it would get old as hell. But once or twice a year, it's high entertainment. So Stolarz was a net. He looked good. He made some pretty good saves. I'm trying to think if there's anybody. Sourdiff actually looked pretty good. I'm not sure which goal was his. It must have been called by... It must have been somebody else's goal that then they give to Sourdiff. I'm not sure because there was no replays. But he looked like he belonged out there. I'm trying to think. Lundell did his thing. Luostarinen got a goal. He looks faster. Luostarinen looks a little bit faster this year, so he must have been working on his skating. So that's good. Hagee out there doing his thing. Bennett, hopefully he's okay, right? Maybe he just got hit in the nuts with the puck or something. That's easy for me to say, right? All right, short and sweet. What do we got? I created... We're going to be live Saturday from 4:30 to 6. That's a pregame stream, and then the game starts at 6. But it's just a live stream. It's the last preseason game, so we're going to go live for about an hour and a half before that. Tomorrow on the Members Only podcast. Now, for you guys that are Patreon supporters, I'm doing a Members Only live tomorrow for the podcast at 12 o'clock. Paul from the locker room is going to join me. Unfortunately, the way that the technology works is I can't do a members only stream to Patreon because the only way I could do it is if I made the stream unlisted. Then I could list it on Patreon, but YouTube doesn't allow comments on an unlisted stream, so I'm kind of stuck there. So my apologies to the Patreon people, but if you are a YouTube member, the podcast will be live tomorrow at noon. About a half hour, 40 minutes, nothing major, but I figured I'd give you guys a little bit something extra, and then after it's done being live, it'll be available for the Patreon people. I apologize for it. The only other way I could do it would be to do it unlisted, but then I would be live and you guys couldn't comment, which would kind of defeat the purpose of being live. So, all right, that's going to do it for tonight. We're really getting close. We got 1 week from tonight. They play Saturday, and then they got some time off. Everybody cross fingers for Sam Bennett, okay? Everybody cross fingers for... I like Zach Dalpe, but he's no Sam Bennett. You see what I'm saying? All right, Panthers, no points. We're not doing that yet. Which, by the way, last thing I'll say, there's been some hubbub. I've noticed nobody has mentioned the Matthew Tkachuk poster, okay? I've had a couple of people mention the Huberdeau with Barkov and Ekblad. A couple of people said I should take Huberdeau down. I ran a poll. It was 83% keeping Huberdeau up, so he's staying. So if somebody doesn't... If you're not happy with that, complain to somebody else, because a fan of the channel sent me that poster and it's staying up on the wall. That's how it's going to be. Appreciate support. I'll see you again tomorrow.